Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Liam. I don't know if you can tell, but I may be looking extra handsome tonight. And that has nothing to do with me, but my girlfriend and her mom got together and got me an early Christmas present. So I've got this great new light off to the side of me with this big softbox that I'm super excited about. The old one's in the back there. That's what I used to use to film. So it's a big upgrade. It's all mounted on my dresser and I'm super excited about it. I thought it's funny that I focus so much on, well, not so much, but I do care about how this shot looks when the whole idea about this show is the fact that it's supposed to be the audio first. It's a podcast at the end of the day. But funny enough, we just got accepted to be a video podcast on Spotify. So now not only can you watch this in video form on YouTube, but you can head over to Spotify and there'll be a video feed there, just like the Joe Rogan Experience. Pretty cool. We're moving up in the world. So I guess to get down to business and to address the kind of weird title that I probably put on this video, I had been listening to the Joe Rogan Experience and he had a guest called James Nestor and he wrote a book called Breathe. And of course, all about breathing, breath work. And after about getting halfway through it, he talked about the benefits of nasal breathing. Now, I think for the majority of my life, I'd been a mouth breather, whether that's just through my anatomy. I remember having dentists tell me I had a quite high roof of my mouth that had been impacting my nasal passages, or the fact that maybe I had allergies quite substantially growing up, very allergic to dust and things that actually through this new nasal breathing lifestyle have somewhat subsided. But I knew I was a mouth breather. And through reading this book, I learned about a lot of the negative effects of mouth breathing and then the positive effects of nasal breathing. And I thought I should give it a try, see if I could do the nasal breathing lifestyle. And part of that transition, he recommends taping your mouth shut at night. And now if you're at all interested in this, I highly recommend going and reading his book, or at the very least listening to his episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. From my recollection, the nasal breathing doesn't have to be 100% of the time. It's just that at 80 to 90% of your life, if you can be breathing through your nose, it's going to have a lot of positive benefits. And we spend so much of our time asleep, so a great way to kind of build up that habit is to do it at night, and stopping yourself from mouth breathing by absolutely blocking that passageway is a great place to start. So I started doing it. I think it was September of last year, and there's pretty dramatic results the first 2 weeks. I remember being at work. I used to lay bricks in the summer, and just so much snot pouring out of my nose and mucus and stuff like that as I tried to be a nasal breather, having to blow my nose constantly. After about 2 weeks, the passageway seemed to clear, and that kind of started my nasal breathing journey. And as far as the night stuff goes, it took a little bit of time to figure out the right tape. If you do decide to take this on, the easiest and cheapest way is to go to the drugstore and get some just first aid tape. But I highly recommend it's plastic stuff or the nylon stuff because it seems to last much better throughout the night. If you get the paper stuff, it kind of deteriorates and then really sticks to your skin. And I had a couple of days where I showed up at work with some real red skin and little chunks missing. So yeah, the nylon stuff's good. And then the best stuff is this stuff right here. It's made by one of the guys that's associated with the book, and it's from the company Conscious Breathing. So you can just buy it online. It's super good stuff. Comes in sheets like this. I usually rip it off. I fold one end over. And the reason for that is then I rip it off and it just shortens it a bit. And then what I'll do to make it less sticky is I'll put it on my pillow usually, but I'll just put it on my shirt like this. And I'll just rip it off a whole bunch of times. And then it's just a facial application. You can push it off with your tongue. Now, I don't know if this will be worth it for you. If you're already a nasal breather, I don't know that this will have much benefit, but if you are maybe a mouth breather like me, it can be very beneficial. They also go into some sort of facial posture in the book, stuff called orthotropics or mewing that you might have seen online. I've been practicing that too, not as regularly. The tape stuff's so nice because you just do it and then it takes such a minimal amount of time to apply and then all the work is done while you're sleeping. But what I have been doing is making sure that I do nasal breathe through a lot of my workouts. So at the gym, I pretty much just nasal breathe. I haven't found no need to breathe through the mouth, except for if you're doing absolutely insane cardio. But even when I'm doing like my warm-ups on the bike, I'm able to breathe through my nose, no problem, and get some pretty good RPM with some pretty good resistance. I'm always just kind of looking for little weird ways that I can improve myself and give myself an edge for whatever I want to achieve. So that is why I tape my mouth shut at night. As always, if you have any questions about mouth taping or anything else, please feel free to leave them in the YouTube comment section or on Spotify in their Q&A section. We got a couple exciting videos coming up. On Thursday, you should see the first episode of season 3. It'll be about the Whistler Blackcomb opening weekend. And then next week, I'm going to have Tyler Ravel on the podcast. And we're going to talk about his transition from working construction, being a part-time photographer, to now being full-time photographer, living the dream, whole nine. And if you have any questions for him, leave them below and we'll do our best to answer them in next week's episode. And that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. If you've enjoyed your time here, please consider subscribing. And I'll see you next week. I love this light. I love this light. It's so sick. Okay, that's enough.